to a new episode of Nonstop Nikhil. Today is December 30th, only a couple days left of 2022 before we go into our journeys in 2023. And I've been taking the last 2 days off of vlogging, and it's been really, really nice. I've also just been taking the last 2 days off of pretty much doing everything. I got to spend some good quality time with my friend Vivek. He's since gone on to continue his travels in other parts of Zanzibar, and I will be staying here in Stone Town, using it as a base for other day trips and other activities until I leave on January 2nd. So I'm a bit nervous right now because there's this cat that's following me around the old fort here in Zanzibar, and it's not going away. Like, I was literally on the other side of the amphitheater here, and it followed me all the way over there, and now it's followed me back onto this side. If you don't know, I'm allergic to cats, so I've got my leg up here on the benches, hoping it won't touch me and trigger some sort of allergic reaction, because that doesn't seem like a fun way to start the day. But okay, other than that, it's been so nice to take a couple days off. I think it's the first time on this trip that I've intentionally taken some time to myself to not vlog, because when you're vlogging, there's always that pressure that you need content. You need to do something intentionally every day to have something to share with your audience, or else there's no point of really saying that you're going to vlog it. But I had literally spent 2 days just to laze around, walk around when I wanted to, be horizontal, lay in bed, get some editing done, do some research, and book some tickets for my onward travel, and just really recharge. Because I didn't realize how depleted my battery was until I actually took a moment to recharge. But now we're back. I want to do at least some small things every day for the rest of my time that I'm here, because I'm here in Stone Town for a long time, so I have the ability to bit by bit cover some of the activities one can do here. And on the whole, my time here in Stone Town is more mainstream touristy activities, because that's what's here. And it's kind of a welcome mix from all the other sort of unknown, under the radar destinations I've been trying to hit up earlier on this trip, and that's exactly what will continue after this trip. So giving myself a sort of winter break over the holidays, over New Year's, to just spend some time, lay back and chill and be like a proper touristy traveler, because there's nothing wrong with that here in Zanzibar. At the moment, it's just past 9 a.m. I had breakfast at the hotel. I switched hotels to a private room for myself after Vivek left yesterday. Checked into that hotel. It's in this really old, huge residence owned by an elite Arab family in the past. And it looks like the owners now are Egyptian, because I've heard them speaking, and the restaurant also out front serves Egyptian food. So I've been staying there, had my breakfast, came out here to the old fort, because this is where my next host will be picking me up for a visit to nearby Changu Island. I believe I'm saying that correctly. It's also known as Prison Island because there was an old prison stationed on that island, which was never actually used to house any prisoners. However, it was then converted into a quarantine center during a yellow fever outbreak in the late 1800s, early 1900s, which affected this area. So if you think about areas today which implemented a COVID-19 hotel quarantine on arrival into their countries, it's kind of the same thing, but 100 years ago, and for yellow fever, in order to keep travelers from bringing their cases of yellow fever onto the island of Zanzibar. Made it to Changu, or Prison Island. The water is gorgeous. The ride took about less than an hour.
First name Changu Island, second Tortoise Island, and the last Prison Island. Why you call Changu Island? Because the long time is coming here as a fisherman to find the kind of fish Changu. Because very increase in this area, the fish kind of Changu. The first history for prison since 1893. But never use, because you living or you stay here people for quarantine. So many people you living here for quarantine like corona. but it increased the disease since 1919. So it increased for 2 years. But every people is the finish the favor to pass go the home from here until to the home. Either 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, but it increased for 2 years.
So far in all of my trips, I've been going to such non-touristy places, but being here overlapping with everyone's winter break just a couple days before the New Year's, you can just get a sense of just how crowded a place like Zanzibar is during peak season. But I think after Zanzibar, I don't think I'll see crowds again for a little while. So another feature of this island are these giant tortoises, and they're actually giant. I didn't think they would be this big. They can weigh up to 250 kilograms, 150 for the females. And this is a male, 45 years old. They've got the age written on the back of their shell. And they give you lettuce leaves to feed the tortoises, but they're so lethargic already. I think they're being fed by the high season tourist traffic here, as you can see. I don't think they're in any want for food right now. So as with anything involving animals in proximity with large crowds of humans, it feels a little weird to be here, especially with this high peak season traffic here, and they're not really regulating how many people come in at once. It's kind of not very cute to be here right now. But these giant tortoises are also not naturally occurring here on Changu Island. They were actually a gift between two sultans, between the Sultan of Zanzibar and the Sultan of the Seychelles. And after a couple of them were gifted between the two sultans, they kind of procreated to create this larger community of giant tortoises here on this island in particular. So apparently one of the older giant tortoises here, which is about close to 200 years old, is just hiding in the bushes somewhere. Nobody can find it. It's learned its lesson to avoid humans. Places like this, you can figure out which nationality has the most annoying tourists, and I think Italians are going to top that list at some point. I thought the Americans were bad, but no, Italians are definitely up there. You just see the masses of tourists here. It's such a gorgeous location. The water is beautiful, and you're on this little sandbank on the edge of the island, but you're just overrun with everyone from everywhere. It's just my luck that I've chosen probably the most touristy destination on my own itinerary over these 8 months during winter holiday, where everybody is here. So after about another 30-minute boat ride, we're at the second sand bank. That's literally what they've been calling it. I think it has another local name, but it's absolutely gorgeous with the clear blue water, so many different shades of blue. We've got sand, and right behind us is where they kind of do a setup where we can have lunch. Looks like everybody gets shuttled from Prison Island, Changu Island, to this sandbank. We've also got our flippers, so I'm going to give those a try. So I'm losing the microphone for now because there's no way that that's waterproof, but it's just so gorgeous here. It's gorgeous enough for you guys to deal with a bit of bad audio quality for sure. Okay, I did try the whole snorkeling setup, and it's just so restrictive. And I didn't wear glasses anyway, so you can't really see anything when you just have the goggles on. It's not really worth it at that point. And everyone keeps saying that even though I've been to so many beaches, a beach is not a beach is not a beach. The water here really, really is gorgeous. There's just something about the Indian Ocean. It's really gorgeous off the coast of Africa. I completely get it. Even if the spot is so well frequented with tourists and it's really, really crowded, I highly do recommend everybody take a day trip out to Changu Island or Prison Island with a stop here at the sandbanks, especially if you're not going to any of the other beaches here in Zanzibar. After the fruit platter, which I didn't touch, and I can't even defend my own decisions, I keep telling everybody it's not logical, it makes no sense, it doesn't connect with anything else that I stand for. But I just or even everything else that I eat, it makes absolutely no sense. Whatever I'm eating, snails here and there and bugs everywhere, but I don't. Yes, See, look at this. Like, it makes no sense.
No sense. Hey.
We've now moved on to the actual food that I do eat. I mean, it's like half fries, and then we've got shrimp, lobster, octopus, and something. There's calamari too. There was calamari. Yeah. So it's really, really delicious. We're having it with this great view on the beach while criticizing the U.S. What else could I ever ask for? What else does one want? And then there was a beautiful example of capitalism where a guy with a cooler of beer is just stopped by to sell me an overpriced beer for like 10,000 shillings. So what else could one want? What else could one want? Hello everyone, so we're back in front of the old fort where we started our day today. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at one of the possible day trips from Stone Town in Zanzibar. I know I haven't been doing a lot of the touristy activities, but I figure it does not hurt to engage in one, and it was actually a really, really good time. I had a really great time with a Dutch Kenyan family who's visiting from Nairobi, father, son, grandfather, all making their trip here to Zanzibar for their vacation. But for now, I just freshened up from the hotel room back here, and then we can figure out what to do for the rest of the evening. I think there's a spot that I've been to a couple of days ago here to grab a cocktail and some like light snacks, so I might do that again. And then we can delve into one of the culinary highlights of Zanzibar, which is this daily night market, this Forodhni night market right here. So the spot that I'm gonna hit up first is just Cape Town right here on the water, where you can get pretty much everything all under one roof. It's got the pizza, it's got sushi, it's got pasta, it's got local dishes. It's also got cocktails and any kind of alcoholic drinks you'd want. So there actually are not a lot of places here serving alcohol, but that's a surefire choice. It's right along the water and has a very relaxed vibe. So that's something you can definitely do in the evening or in the afternoon if you just want to break from roaming around the old part of the city. And especially because today is a Friday, which is the Muslim holy day, you're gonna find people are dressed up a little bit more in their traditional garments and their kanzu, which is basically the Tanzanian version of a Gulf Arab thobe. That's the white long garment, which I actually bought here a couple of days ago. And people are just in a more festive mood today as well. I'm sure they go for Friday prayers and they leave work early, and so they're ready to have a good time in the evening. So it being a Friday, I'm pretty sure the vendors for the Forodhni night market are setting up early because they're gonna be here for a while and there's gonna be a good crowd tonight. So we're gonna check that out. With all the cultural influences here in Zanzibar due to the trade, there's no way that food can be an exception to that cultural melange. And we're gonna try, even if I'm not gonna eat all the dishes, we're gonna at least take a look at how they're prepared and take a look at how some of these very, very quintessential Zanzibari street dishes are prepared, how they eat them, how they enjoy them, and even what they are, because I quite honestly had not heard of any of these dishes before I came here. The biryanis, the pulaus, we of course know them being from the Middle East and South Asia, but for the rest of these street foods, which are so unique to Zanzibar, I had no idea about their existence, so I'm excited to share them with you all. So I keep coming back to this, but I just cannot stress how recharging it's been to take 2 days off of vlogging, 2 days off of the expectation, the need to have to do something, to create content. I mean, it wasn't fully just me doing nothing all day. I was able to book flight tickets for the next legs of my journey, really take a look at exactly what I want to do, how I want to get to my ultimate destination, which is going to India, and taking into account how I feel after 2 months of traveling nonstop, what's been working for me, what's not been working for me, how I need to change things, what I appreciate, what I don't, all the like, just to make the next segments of my trip the most that they can be, or at the same time maximize the lessons that I can share with myself and all of you who are watching. It's this part of Forodhni Park which really gets the closest that you can to the European plaza, where you're out in the evening and everyone's sort of walking around, people watching, getting something to eat and enjoying themselves. And you get that same atmosphere here. I mean, it's really hard to find that in North America, so wherever I find that, I always feel like it's very, very special. Additionally, this is one of the few spaces here in Zanzibar where locals and tourists come together in the same place for the same reason. For example, if you think about Stone Town, there's so many locals who just live there for their daily life and are carrying out daily life activities. And restaurants are very often segregated, hotels are very often segregated. But here at Forodhni, everyone's here for one reason. You also have these young boys who run and dive into the water off the coast of the fort right here. And it attracts quite a bit of attention. I don't know if it's the same people who do it every day or just whoever is there and feels like jumping into the water, but it's always going on. There's one spot down here. Overall, it's just a general sunset time activity. There are people eating ice cream, just chilling by the water. Especially today, it's Friday. So many people are out in their Omani outfits. I should have worn my Omani outfit today as well. There are two main dishes that you cannot try anywhere else but here in Zanzibar. And one is aptly named the Zanzibar pizza, but it has nothing to do with the typical Italian pizza. I think you just have to completely ignore the fact that it's even called that when you want to understand what it is. That's one thing we need to try. And the second thing we need to try is something called mix. And mix seems like it's almost like a type of chaat. If you're used to like Indian foods, you have a chaat with just a mixture of a bunch of different ingredients all dumped together in a bowl, and the sauces and gravies kind of like soak everything up and you can eat it and enjoy it. I'm not exactly sure if that's exactly what I can expect. I'm sure that the flavors and the ingredients will be completely different, but at least for right now, I'm not going to have a proper dinner tonight. I think I'm just going to try those two items, the Zanzibar pizza and the mix, and I'm sure they'll be pretty easy to find here at the night market at Forodhni, right in front of the old fort. There's actually a reason why this park is called Forodhni Square. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly. This park actually sits right in between the port, the water on one side, and then the fort on the other. So what usually happens between the sea and the fort, that is the area where customs usually takes place. Customs in the sense that, you know, you need to pass through customs at the airport. Furud is typically not the word we use for customs in Arabic today. We use a different set of words altogether. But furud completely makes sense. Furud literally means something you impose on someone. So it's like a sort of tax. So it's that tax, and then ni is the suffix in Swahili when you want to denote a place. So it's the place where the taxes take place. So that's what this place would have originally been meant for, the collection of customs taxes when anything would be imported here into Zanzibar. I know just how packed this area can get later on at night, so I'm going to try to get my food earlier. But let's tackle the pizza first, because that sounds like it's going to be filling. And if you're not interested in trying any of the unique dishes here, you'll find a bunch of the typical...
Hello, my brother.
You'll find a bunch of the typical shawarmas, fried meats, grilled meats, samosas, all the typical stuff which you can find in other places, not only here in Zanzibar. Adhan is just playing for Maghrib sunset prayers right now. Let's go see where we can find our pizza. I was planning on getting the pizza first, but the pizza stall was right next to the mix stall. And that particular pizza stall didn't have anybody at it, and he wasn't open yet for another 10 minutes, so I figured I would do the mix first. The mix is just literally that. It's a mix of all these different types of fritters, a couple types of shredded vegetables, a little bit of meat, an egg, all in this gravy. And the gravy is just soaked up by the different fritters. And yeah, you basically just enjoy it in the evenings. It's pretty good, and it's an easy way to like get in a meal. At like the small bowl that I ordered was only 2,000 shilling. So that's less than $1, about 75 cents. So that's one way you can keep yourself full for sure. One tip that I did receive from local people about eating here is to only eat the foods that are hot and that are prepared instantly for you upon your order. You're gonna see many places which just sell pre-made foods that are lying out in front of you. thing is, you don't know how long ago those items have been fried. You don't know how long ago that samosa has been fried. You don't know when that chicken or beef skewers were made, but they've just been like sitting there all day, perhaps. And this market happens every day, so you don't know when those were exactly made. So I was told even by local people, we don't go there, we don't eat those kind of meats. And the thing is, for tourists, that's exactly what's the most transparent for you. Those are the dishes which look most familiar to what you know from home. So that's mostly what's going to be approachable for you and what you're going to want to order. But the thing is, don't order those. What you're going to want to order is the Zanzibar pizza and this mix, because that's made new every day. It's made fresh, it's made hot, and it's made to your order. Much like everywhere in the world, it seems like the street food here is just people dumping a bunch of random ingredients together, surprising themselves when it doesn't taste bad, and then the dish kind of takes a life of its own. The Zanzibar pizza pretty much follows in this tradition. It's a very fatty dough pastry, and inside of it you can have your ground beef thima, that's like just like lightly spiced ground beef with onions and tomatoes. I opted without onion. And then they mix some processed cheese, some mayonnaise in it, and then jumble it all up into a paste that can be cooked with the egg. So the egg is beaten, and then the whole package is kind of thrown onto the tawa, or onto the griddle. And then once it's thrown onto the griddle, they just douse it in more and more ghee so it can cook for a little while. And once it's cooked, it's cut up into little pieces like a pizza. And then you can opt for some ketchup, you can opt for additional mayonnaise on it, you can opt for some mango chutney on it. So I just had it only with the mango chutney. And there you go. There's your Zanzibar pizza. Which, again, I told you, pizza is not the right word. Pizza is a word that makes it relatable, makes it approachable, but it's more of something like a quesadilla than a pizza. Nonetheless, it's good. I mean, give it a try if you're here. Anything that bears the name and is that popular. Like, I mostly just saw local families ordering 3, 4, 5 of them. Try it out. You're here in Zanzibar. Try it out. You probably don't need to have it twice. But so I completely forgot to end yesterday's vlog. But I hope you enjoyed it. We did so much yesterday. We took a very easy day trip away from Stone Town out to Changu, or Prison Island. And then from there we went to the sandbank, where we got to rest, relax, take advantage of the gorgeous waters here right off the coast of Zanzibar. And then we went to check out some of the local food scene, and we got to try 2 of the main dishes which Zanzibar is known for. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we've only got 1 day left in 2022, so we're gonna make it count. With that, take care, have a good evening, and goodbye everyone.